What's up, my fellow duelists? Dragon Magician here. This is my first deck profile on my my personal build of the Pendulum Magicians, which is based around getting Zark out. So it's Zark Magicians, and I forgot to do this in my last video, but this is, I'll move these guys out of the way for a second. This lovely Kuroko no basket playmat is a lot better than my last one, which was the Raging Tempest sneak peek. And let's start off with the monsters. So first off, you play triple Astrograph. This guy is great for comboing off with Time Pendulum Graph and your Magician's Effect to pop themselves. So you get another card in hand, and also he's the main card to bring out Zark. Triple Purple Poison. His Pendulum Effect is he pumps a Dark Spellcaster type monster you control during either player's turn's battle phase when a Dark Spellcaster battles. You put him up by 1200 and then pop this card. And then his monster effect comes into play after he pops himself by popping another card on the field. Well, it has to be face up. But you can pop this when the Dark Spellcaster attacks, and then special this to get another copy of this to hand, so you have another 25 beta on the board. Next I play triple Black Fang Magician. He pops himself to half an opponent's monster's attack, so basically all the magicians have the effects of what their extra deck counterparts had. But Black Fang's monster effect is specials a Dark Spellcaster from grave, so if somebody negates your summon with Solemn Strike, you just bring it back with that effect. Next, one of the MVPs in this deck, Double Iris Magician. His plan effect is he pops himself while targeting a Dark Spellcaster you control. They do double damage for the rest of that turn. And once he pops himself, his monster effect comes into play, which you can search a Pendulum Graph card from your deck, which I find pretty useful because you always want to get the trap card and put it face down. Right. Next card I play is a bit unorthodox because people usually play one of this, but I play Double White Wing Magician. I use this mainly to combo off of Harmonizing Magician to overlay, or I use, mainly just to overlay and then get her in grave so I can use her to summon Zark with Astrograph. But I play triple Harmonizing. Her Pendulum effect is all monsters you control gain 100 attack per Magician Pendulum monster face up in your extra deck, which is pretty useful when you're trying to OTK somebody. And its monster effect, when it's Pendulum Summon from hand, and you cannot Pendulum Summon it from deck, extra deck I mean. But you Pendulum Summon it from hand, you special summon another Magician Pendulum monster from your deck onto the field with its effects negated, but banish it when it leaves the field. And you can only use the effect of Harmonizing Magician once per turn. So if you open it with two of them, just keep the other one in your hand until next turn, so you can make another rank 4 or level 8 play. Next, another MVP of the deck is Wisdom Eye Magician. Everybody should be familiar with this card, seeing that he was on the ban list not too long ago. But if you have a Magician or Performable card in your Pendulum Zone, you can destroy this card, and if you do, place one Magician Pendulum monster from your deck in your Pendulum Zone, except Wisdom Eye Magician. But you use this card to combo off with Star Pendulum Graph, which I'll explain in a minute, to get a search and also place another card in your Pendulum Scale. Next I run is one Oath Dragon Magician. You could run him at 2, but it's a good ratio at 1 because I usually get him off of Wisdom Eye and put him straight into the scale to get the Wisdom Eye back to hand. And his monster effect is also useful for if a Magician or Odd Eyes card is in your grave, you can add that back to your hand, and its Pendulum effect is basically the same, but you add one from your extra deck. Right, on to my Perform Pal stuff. I play triple Skullcrobat Joker. Joker's good because he searches out a card, a Magician, Odd Eyes, or Perform Pal card from your deck to your hand. I would say try and run this at 1 because of the OCG ban list, and he will be hit in the next ban list, I believe. And this deck works perfectly with one Joker, because you can use him for a single summon, an XC summon into Time Pendulum Graph, or you can use him into Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom, which is always useful. And then I run one Perform Power Pendulum Sorcerer. Most people run this at 2, but I use him at 1 because you can just keep on recycling him, because you can search with him with Joker, and Duelist Alliance can search him too. And yeah, he pops the card up to 2 cards and then add 2 Perform Power cards with different names from your deck to your hand. Next I run 1 Pendulum Dragon. I only run 1 of this guy because you only really need to run 1, and I use him more for his pendulum effect than his monster effect. His monster effects only do double damage anyways. I play a Perform Power Odd Ice Dissolver. I don't use him for his pendulum effect, but I use him mainly to OTK, because say you have Zark on field and you're just attacking to their monster, he special summons another Supreme King. I will explain that later on, but you summon him, he attacks, you special summon this, and then that's another 2k beater on the board, because after Zark comes out, you know, they're probably not going to have anything left on the board. I play triple Gofu. Great for going from hand when you control no monsters, and then special from 2 tokens. So use those 2 tokens to go into a Proxy Dragon, and then use the Gofu and the Proxy Dragon to go into Decode Talker. And for the last monster of deck, I play 1 Max C, most broken card in Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment. He's so amazing. Just discard him to keep drawing when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters. And it's also great for the mirror matches because they always have to special summon. Right, moving on to spells and traps. For the spells, I run triple Star Pendulum Graph. Right, when a Magician Pendulum monster leaves your monster zone or pendulum zone, you can search for another Magician Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Well, add 1. And then your opponent cannot target your Magician Pendulum monsters with spell effects. So it's overall a great card. Next card I play is 2 Duelist Alliance to search out any cards with Pendulum in its name. Double Iris is also searchable with this card since it's always treated as a Pendulum Dragon. So it's a extremely helpful card, and it can also bring out my next card, Pendulum Core, which I only run at 1. Because you want to use your Pendulum Magician's effects to pop themselves, so you only use this card as a last resort, but it is always helpful. Because you discard 1 card, add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. And also until the end of your opponent's next turn, after this card resolves, Magician cards in your pendulum zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. So they can't twin twist through your scales, which is good, but you want your scales to be popped because they get their monster effects once they're popped. And I play a Soul Charge. So if somebody Solemn Strikes your Pendulum Summon, you can activate this afterwards, pay a couple stacks of life points. I know you won't be able to attack this turn, but it's useful so then you can carry on with your plays and set up a board for next turn, and also get more cards into your hand. That's it for my spell lineup. The main trap of the deck, Time Pendulum Graph. Your opponent cannot target your Magician, spellcast type monsters you control with trap cards or effects. So trap cards or their continuous trap effects. And then you can target 1 Magician Pendulum monster card in your monster zone or pendulum zone, and 1 card your opponent controls. Destroy them both, and then I'll explain a combo with this in a little bit. But if you did not destroy 2 cards, you get to send 1 card on the field to the grave. which is always useful. And then for the last trap of the deck is Solemn Strike, just to stop. Well, I put it in the air mainly for the mirror match. I don't draw into it much because it can stop your plays a little bit, but it's an absolutely amazing card. You should always run this. But you can use this as a, well, this is my personal preference. You can always switch it up yourself. Right, time to move on to the extra deck. Onto the extra deck. I play 1 Supreme King Zark. He's the card you want to bring out with Astrograph. So it's an amazing card. He also destroys all your opponent's cards. It kind of sucks if they stop your thing with that. Next fusion is Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. You can just tribute 2 Dark Pendulum monsters on your field. All this is dark apart from, I think, Wisdom Eye, White Wing, and Perform Power Pendulum Sorcerer. So you could even run a lure in this deck. But you can fusion summon him with Polymerization, but nobody would do that since you can just tribute 2 Dark Pendulum monsters for him. So you don't want to go -1 on that. And then once per turn you can target 1 monster on the field or in the graveyard. Until the end phase, this card's name becomes that monster's original name and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. So say that your opponent's got an ABC Dragon Buster, and then you can discard 1 card that you need for Supreme King Zark's summon. Say White Wing, because that one's the one that you probably want to get rid of as soon as possible. And then you can banish 1 card they control if they have no hand, but they can always tag out their ABC Dragon Buster, so you don't want to target that. Next fusion is Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. You can bring this guy out with, I didn't explain this, but you can bring him out with Perform Power Odd Eyes Dissolver with his monster effect after the battle phase if you haven't OTK'd them. But I would you can bring him out with this, but you can also bring out Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon with his effect as well, which I think is the one that you'd most likely go for. And also you can add this back with Oath Dragon Magician's effect from your extra deck. So that's it for the fusions. I play 1 Sideframe Lord Omega. I'm sorry I don't have the actual card yet. I have ordered it. It's on its way. I just couldn't wait to do this deck profile. But you summon him, you banish him to banish 1 random card in your opponent's hand face up, and then he comes back during your next standby phase into your main monster zone instead of your extra monster zone. So you can synchro summon into him, banish him, then you can do an Xyz play with your harmonizing. And then I also play 1 Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, who, his effect, he just blows up all face-up monsters your opponent controls. But also when he attacks a monster, he auto-kills it, and then burns your opponent for that damage. And then I play 1 Clearwing Synchro Dragon, just for another Zark material. And then, of course, you play your 1 Ignister. So you can target 1 Pendulum card on the field, in the monster zone or Pendulum zone, even if it's your opponent's. And then shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. So if you've got you more likely shuffle in 1 of their cards. But if you've got a dead monster on the field, say like Joker, because he's got hit by the OCG ban list, this would be a good play to make. You can shuffle him back into your deck, and then you can reuse him. And I do not run any Dracos in this deck, so yeah. I play 1 Odd Eyes Absolute, just because you can use him with Odd Eyes Vortex and Astrograph, detach Odd Eyes Vortex to negate an attack, and then special on Odd Eyes Vortex so he gets his bounce effect again. Odd Eyes Vortex also negates any card effect your opponent may make by shuffling a card in the extra deck, a face-up Pendulum monster in the extra deck, into the deck, which I would say if you played one Joker, you would do the Joker. Right. I'll put this here. I also play one Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion, because before damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster during your battle phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can detach one material from this card and then make that monster its battling attack 0, and it gains its original attack. So it would say that you are going up against, say, a 3k beater. You attack it either it attacks you or you attack it. They probably won't attack it because of its effect, so you'd more likely attack it. And then you detach one, then this card becomes 5500. And then, of course, you play the character card Dark Rebellion at Siege Dragon. Half an opponent's monster's attack by targeting it, and then you can just swing over their monster. One of the main searches in the deck, Time Star Magician. So yeah, 2 level 4 Magician Pendulum monsters. Once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, add to your hand 1 Dark Spellcast type monster. So you can. I usually add Astrograph or Joker off this effect. And also there's a combo with Time Star you can do with Time Pendulograph. You can use Time Pendulograph to target your, say, Black Fang in your scale. Target one of your opponent's monster. This can send a Magician Pendulum monster from your main deck to the grave and negate the destruction, so Time Pendulgraph's effect would kick in to send another card of your opponent's to the graveyard. Then on to my final 2 extra deck cards. Proxy Dragon and Decode Talker. Proxy Dragon's in here because of Gofu, but if you can bring out Decode Talker first, then go into Proxy Dragon, it opens up 3 extra monster zones for you to use afterwards. And then that's it for the extra deck. Side deck. I play a Decode Talker because you can always open up, go through late game, and you could have no monsters on the field because somebody could have Raigeki'd you. Or Darkhold. So, always play 1 extra Decode Talker if you know what they're playing. Another one is Supreme King Zark, just in case they are playing, say, Zaborg the Mega Monarch, even though they might not play that. But if you find yourself thinking that you can make another Zark in a game, say game 2, you side this in. Another side deck card is Perform Age Trapeze Magician. Not Perform Power. But he's good against the Trickstar matchup, because also he can detach a material, target 1 face-up attack position monster turn player controls. Other than this card, it can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. Also destroy it at the end of the battle phase. So, say you target Astrograph or something like that, then you can pump him up with Purple Poison. So you got 2 attacks with a 3/7, but he would be destroyed at the end of the turn. And then you never take damage equal or less to this card's attack. So against Trickstars, it's amazing. Next side deck card is Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon, because you can combo off with, say that your Purple Poison was destroyed. Then this, you can say, if you've opened up with Astrograph and Odd Eyes Lancer, and he's pumped up one of your cards, you can special both of these guys by, this guy has to tribute a monster to special on himself. So you get a search and you get a 3k beater on the board. Then also, if he attacks, or any other Odd Eyes cards attacks like Dissolver or Pendulum Dragon, they cannot activate spell traps until the end of the damage step. And then if an Odd Eyes card you control would be destroyed by battle card effect, you can destroy 1 Odd Eyes card in your hand, monster zone or Pendulum Zone instead, so you can destroy this card to prevent it. Next card I play is more for a fun build, but Zaborg the Mega Monarch, because you can tribute him with a Wisdom Eye and another card, get his effect to pop himself, send 8 cards from your extra deck to the grave and then send 8 of theirs as well. So if you're going against a matchup, send their not tricks, sorry, but their Time Star Magicians, their Zark, and their Ignister mainly. And yeah, that's mainly the only reason I have in here. I'll probably do a fun build of this deck, which requires 2 of this guy in the main deck. But the spells that I run for the deck, well, the side deck is Wavering Eyes. I know people are main decking this, but I'm siding 2 of them for the matchup, because if they've went first, you can play Wavering Eyes, pop both their cards, burn them for 500, add a Pendulum monster, because they might have Time Pendulograph, so it's always good to open up with this against the mirror match. I also play 2 Pot of Desires. I do not main deck this card because I found myself banishing a copy, like 3 copies of the same card every time. But I know most people don't get as bad luck as me, so I choose to side deck this card. But again, this is personal preference. I would play 1 Pendulum Fusion in the side deck, so you can fuse using your scales as well. So say that you've Pendulum summoned using Purple Poison and Black Fang in the extra monster zones, the Pendulum zones. Then you summon double Iris and Harmonizing, which special summons White Wing. You can play Pendulum Fusion, and then you can fuse for Zark straight off. Next card I use, which is to combo off with Zaborg, is Miracle Synchro Fusion. Say that, and also if you've run out of Astrographs, say that some of them strike them each time, you can use this, still Fusion Summon into your Zark. Now for the Paleo matchup, Royal Decree, I would play 3 of these, but I only have 1. And then for the mirror match, the last 3 cards of the deck, the side deck, is 3 anti-spell. I've not been able to get hold of 2 more of this, so I'm going to be ordering it next week. And it's just an amazing card to use, because once you've gone first, accept that, and your Time Pendulograph, you activate your Time Pendulograph first, and then pop a card you control, they control, and yeah, and then you activate this afterwards, so they can't use their Pendulum Monsters effects. Right, that's it for my Pendulum Magician, Zark Magician deck profile.
Thumbnail right there.
Yeah. But this is all up to personal preference. I find myself winning usually 2nd or 3rd turn with this deck. Tell me what you think about this deck in the comments below. Smash that like button and hit subscribe for more deck profiles like this. Thank you guys, and goodbye.